like Brian said, my name is Nina, and I'm the Director of College and Career Readiness for the Regional Office of Education 17. And Mark Jontry back there, he is the superintendent in the regional office. My position is a new position there as of about a year ago. I came here by way of Indiana, where I worked with the State Department of Ed and all of the schools, developed internship programs for the schools, developed curriculum that supported the internships at the State Department of Ed, and then helped develop their state model, which is called the Indiana InternNet. And the Indiana InternNet is actually an online matching service for employers and students, both high school and post-secondary. My background is, I'm originally from Illinois, and I got my Bachelor of Science from Eastern Illinois University, and then I got a Master's of Arts in Adult Education and Community Education from Ball State University in Indiana, and then a Master's of Science in Curriculum and Instruction from Purdue University, and I'm licensed District Administrator in Career and Technical Education. So that's kind of my background there. I've always been in education, but I've also interacted with business. So it's always been a combination of the business and education. What I'm going to talk to you today about is retaining the top local talent in the area. And there are many ways that that can happen, but one way is through internship programs. If you can hook students at a young age and get them really committed in the community, and they can find out what kind of jobs and careers are within all of the different organizations, they are more likely to come back and stay here, especially if they have a mentor that they stay connected with. And many times interns, through their internship, they network with other people, they also connect with their mentor, they get advice. Sometimes after high school, those students did such a great job that they will be hired. And I have seen many students through the experiences I've had in Indiana where they changed their path, not their path for their career, but they changed their choice of college that they were going to so that they could stay in a paid internship in their career field in a company that was local. So that was a really great thing to see happen. One thing that's also really great about retaining top local talent and snagging these kids when they are in high school is that a lot of students, whether they're high school students, post-secondary students, or students that have already just graduated and they're out in the work world, or even adults in the community, don't realize the vast array of different careers in every company. For example, in the healthcare or in a hospital, it's not just medical things. They need IT people, they need marketing people, they need engineers, all kinds of, they need accountants. So when you get students inside your organization, you can show them all the different kinds of careers that are available to them. And most likely, they don't really know what this community has to offer. So this is the agenda for today. We're going to talk about what the goals are for the ROE Internship Initiative. I'm going to explain exactly what internships are, how partnerships benefit everyone, specifically the business community today, the pilot programs that we have in place to date, just within this last year, and then how you can be an internship provider if you're interested in exploring that. So the goals of the internship initiative are develop the internship model, which is what I'm doing, partner with the area businesses, retain the top local talent, enrich the education of students, focus on career exploration, and utilize unpaid internships. And one thing we know about enriching the education of our students is we know that the education system is getting a lot of heat and a lot of criticism these days, and education can't do it all. And we need to bring more relevance into the classroom so that they know what the work world is like, instead of just the standard classroom with textbook learning and seat time. So let's see, what is an internship? Unpaid work-based experience that focuses on career exploration. And notice the advantage is gained not in the form of currency, but in the value of exposure to a career field. Now, when students are exploring careers, it's very important for them not to be paid, because then the internship focuses on the benefit of the student. It benefits the businesses as well. But when students get focused in on the money, all of a sudden their career choice goes along with the job that's going to pay them. And they lose sight of getting the experience. And in the long run, it's very detrimental to them, because they get to post-secondary ed or they go into the work world, and they still are floundering trying to figure out what career they want to go into. Even if they know kind of what career they want to go into, there are so many different avenues. Post-secondary education is extremely expensive these days, and so it could end up taking a lot more time. It could cost a lot more money. And if students aren't focused by the time they graduate high school, many colleges, post-secondary institutions, they don't offer every course every semester. So if they don't have their sequence of courses set up from the get-go, they're going to be out of sequence. Partnerships, they absolutely do benefit everyone. But today we're going to focus mostly on how they benefit you as business owners. Okay, what do all the stakeholders need? Students need to feel successful and purposeful about their future. Employers want their community economy to be strong with a good customer base and a ready supply of skilled talent. They also are interested in the bottom line, like everyone is. Educators want students to be successful. They want their students to make meaningful contributions to the community. Parents want to know their children are on a promising path to the future. For the most part, college. However, college is not the only way to a bright career path, and that is just as important. So internships are not just for the college-bound. Internships are for any students, and that's the way we set programs up, all the way from the lowest level student all the way up to the valedictorian. It's valuable for everyone. For example, in one of the special ed students in an internship program interned at one of the hospitals, and we knew that, you know, the student was developmentally delayed and was never going to go to college or get a job like a student who doesn't have special needs. So through the internship at the hospital, he worked down in the laundry area and did all the folding of the towels and the stacking and the delivering. So he learned all of that repetition. And then he was in an employed position in that capacity once he graduated high school. He would not have been employed in that position had he not interned and been trained along the way, because nobody would have taken the time to employ him if he didn't already have those skills. So that's one thing on one end. On another end, one of my students, actually it was one of my first students in Indiana when I offered the unpaid internship program. And she just jumped right on board. She had come from Ohio. Her mom was president of the Red Cross there in town, and she wanted to go into the medical field. So she did unpaid internships at the hospital, I advised her that she should go get her CNA in the summer, because then you can be employed as a CNA and earn more money than you could in the medical field without a CNA, while she went ahead to pursue her career because she wanted to be a medical doctor. Now, firsthand knowledge of that is so important, and some students would think, that's beneath me. No, I'm going to be the surgeon. I'm not doing that. That's beneath me. So, but anyway, my niece, who is an OB doctor in Chicago, she got her CNA and worked as a CNA all the way through school, even though she was valedictorian of her high school, she was valedictorian of her college, she was valedictorian of her medical school. Really sharp gal. To look at her, you would just think she's kind of fluffy, but awesome, just very, very bright. So she didn't need the money, but she said, it's been so beneficial to me because I can interact a lot better with all the ancillary staff because I know what their jobs are. I know what they're doing, and they don't think I'm talking down to them like other physicians do that have never come up. So those experiences were very important. Okay, so back to my story with this gal in Indiana, Aaliyah. So she did her unpaid internship. She got her CNA between the summer of her junior and senior year. She got a paid internship her senior year at the hospital, and she got to do rotations in surgery, in post-op, in a birthing center. I think there were 4 different rotations that she went on. Well, in Indiana, they had a program that was called the BSMD program. And the BSMD program is a very small group of students who interview, and they want to go, at the onset of them wanting to go to college, they know they want to go to medical school. So before they go to college, they interview for the BSMD program, and if they're selected, they automatically get accepted into the medical school if they maintain a certain grade point average through all the 4 years, which is a huge benefit, because even if you are top-notch in your college education, everybody's top-notch that's applying to medical school. So that was really a great experience for her. So she goes down there, and through the time that she did her 2 years of interning with me through my office, and she developed a career portfolio, which is it's kind of a leather-like 3-ring binder with plastic sleeves and divider tabs. It's like an electronic portfolio, but it's the hard copy version. So she had all of her evaluations, she developed her resume, her letters of recommendation. She kept track of all of the experiences and things that she did, the doctors, the departments, the things that she observed, and the skills that she learned. So she takes that down there with her. She decides to take that down there with her. But prior to that, the CEO of that hospital, who had previously been a heart surgeon, but then he went into being the CEO of the hospital, he did practice interviews with her. So she goes down there and interviews, and she's interviewing with this team of people that are on the board for the BSMD program and medical students. So she's showing them the portfolio and explaining all of the things about the experiences she's had, what she's done. She knows exactly what she wants to do, etc. So the medical students there are saying, my goodness, I haven't even been able to observe those things. You're way ahead of the game in that regard. So she was lucky she even got an interview, but the CEO of the hospital was instrumental in making sure she got an interview. The reason I say she was lucky she got an interview is because she wasn't one of the top 10 students in the class. She had a very high GPA, but she wasn't one of the top 10. And she didn't meet the ACT and SAT scores that they set as bars. Well, they were so impressed with her because of the way she presented herself. She knew how to interview. She had her portfolio. She had all of these experiences that she could talk about. that were far above the medical interns that had already gone to medical school, and they were now interns, and they still hadn't even done this. So they only picked 10. She was their #1 choice. And they reevaluated the criteria for acceptance into that program based on her, because she was extremely well-rounded. She was an athlete, she played softball, she did all of these internship things. She didn't go after the courses in high school that just to raise her GPA. She went after the courses that gave her the experiences that she needed. So that was awesome. Ultimately, she didn't even need that BSMD program to get into the med school without applying, because they snapped her up right away in another state. So that was a very exciting thing, and I still keep in touch with her. But that's just an example of what an internship program can do for students. Okay, impact of employers on students' motivation. It is absolutely huge. When students get out there into the work world, they see the relevance about what they're learning in the classroom. And some of the experiences are just hilarious. There was this one young student, very, very shy and reserved, and he was interning at the hospital and observing some surgeries. And he came back, and he told his mother, who was an admissions director at one of the colleges, so she, talked to me about these things. She said, "Oh, Mom, I watched a breast implant today, and I finally know the importance of geometry." So it was so funny to hear him say something like that, because he was very shy and reserved. But, it was just that light bulb moment. Oh yeah, that is an important thing to learn. I don't just need to learn biology. There's a lot of other things that I need to learn. Okay, I understand better why it's important to do well in school. Notice, 90% either strongly agree or agree. I'm more prepared to work hard in lessons and my coursework. Look at that, over 90% strongly agree or agree. Because once they get out there into the work world, a few things happen. They start acting like more adult-like and more professional, because they're only in the building part of the day, because when they get to intern, it's a course. They get graded. They have seminars at school. They dress professionally. They interact professionally with the professional work world. They don't get mired down into all of the pettiness and cliques in high school. They see why their coursework is important, and they see the relevance when they see it applied when they're out there in the work world. Okay, well, what's important to you is your return on investment, which is always the bottom line. 360-degree return on investment. We want everyone to make an investment in the success of our students, and everyone to get a return that addresses their primary interests and needs. Obviously, if it didn't, you wouldn't necessarily just be doing that out of the goodness of your heart, because it does take a little effort on your part. So, it creates a pipeline for your future talent, because we know you need a pipeline, definitely. You can make a positive impact in your community. It provides that real-world relevance to students. Number 4 up there is really great for you, and you can see how that's going to benefit your bottom line. You can use students to help develop new projects that you would not normally have time to do, or your employees wouldn't have time to do. Also, when they're doing those new projects, it allows some of your maybe mid-level management to take on more leadership roles with that student, and so they're learning skills about grooming younger employees as well. Also, students bring new perspectives to old problems. Sometimes we don't even think about things that the young people, with all of their technology, it's just like that with them. And lastly, invest early to get those hard to find people and then train them your way. And like I said earlier, most people don't know what the community has to offer and what all the businesses have to offer, all the different jobs within each business. So, this is what it's not. Internships do not replace regular staff. In fact, that's against the law. You can't get free work from interns if it's going to displace your regular staff. But you can develop new projects with student assistance. Here are some project ideas, just a small sampling so you can maybe see what an intern might do. Scan the industry media for news items. You might not want to let your regular employee at a high rate of pay, search all that out. They could create a blog content piece, develop PR materials, critique your organization's website, which would be very valuable, especially so you could know how the younger generation sees it. They might think, oh my goodness, that's really old hat. And evaluate your IT functionality. So, this past year, a lot of things have happened, and we have had some internship pilot programs. First, I started out with Unit 5 and developed their internship program, but we had to go in and develop a supporting course, career exploration. So now there's a career exploration course that's a required course for students to take along with the internship experience. They can take it either before as a prerequisite or at the same time as a co-requisite. So that's where they're exploring everything about their career. Their internship is out getting the experience. And then part of the internship is also seminars back at school. Students through the Unit 5 program only intern Monday through Thursday. And Friday, they're back at school during their internship periods for a seminar with their internship coordinator. It's not a huge amount of time that you need to worry about for students. They would be there anywhere from 4 to 8 or 10 hours per week, depending on how many credits they took it for at school and how much time off they had. So if you notice here, and then also this past summer, set up a pilot program for the Bloomington Area Career Center and for all of the attendance schools in the Area Career Center. So that's why you see Tri-Valley. That was through the summer program, and one of those students went to Bloomington Junior High School because they were interested in education and worked with a teacher in the summer school program. U-High, that person went to the YWCA, and that person was working with marketing materials. Down at the bottom, Bloomington High School this last summer went to Open Source Classroom. And Lexington, that student went to Illinois Cancer Care Center. Now over here on the left, Normal Community High School, some of those are this fall and maybe 1 or 2 were this past summer. So you can see all the things there: Bam Bam Construction, Cloud Quest Technologies, Eastview Christian Church, Grove Elementary, Jan Brandt Gallery. Down at the bottom, McLean County Art Center, Tomorrow's Promise Learning Center, Unity Community Center, and Socorro CPA Firm. Then Normal West over on the right, notice how many things we've got at OSF. They are awesome. Now that doesn't mean that there was only one student there, but those were the areas. Birthing Center, Family Care Center, Health Care Center. Then we had Smart Vet, Stevenson Elementary, and STL. Also Athletico Physical Therapy, Barnes Dental, Meltdown Creative Works, and Olympian North Elementary. You can see the spectrum is wide. Now it's driven, the interest and the focus is driven by the students. We don't just get businesses to sign up and say, these are the internships we have open and I'm putting you there. The student has to have buy-in. So they work with the coordinator and learn how to approach mentors, how to talk to them, how to figure out the places where they could go and get the experience, and in tandem, that's the way it goes. So it goes from the student towards the mentor. It's not lots of internships and then the kid says, well, where are you going to put me? No, they have to interview and everything just like a job. They go through an internship planning session. They have all the different things that they need to do. They learn how to develop a resume. They get references. They learn how to write a cover letter. They find out businesses that would have careers in their interest area. They learn how to approach the mentor. Then they learn what to do after that. They learn how to dress. So that when they come in to you, it would be, they would first approach you and request if you were interested in that, and then you could end up saying yes or no, and if you were, then you would actually interview them just as they were being interviewed for a job. So it is competitive just like a job. So there could be more than one student that was interested in the same spot if it was a really great location or great spot. The next district on the agenda to start a pilot program is Bloomington Public Schools in District 87. So this fall I will be working with them to see how their curriculum is set up and how we can integrate it into their academic coursework. And it may look very different than it does in just Unit 5. It depends on the school district, you know, their staffing, what their scheduling looks like, all of those different things. So what I'm providing for the schools is also an internship manual that shows, you know, everything. And then I'll work with them and set that program up specific to their needs and how it works for them. Just as you, as employers, every internship doesn't look the same. You decide what will work for you, and then the internship program coordinator at the school, which I train, helps you figure out how you can integrate a student in that arena. Most of the work falls on the student and the internship program coordinator. The businesses are provided with everything that they need. They need to supply a mentor supervisor, help figure out a project, mentor the student along the way, fill out student evaluation forms, consult with the mentor if any problems arise, and always, always, if the employer, the supervisor, the mentor says, I just don't like the way that guy looks, I don't like his attitude, I don't like anything about him, he just rubs me the wrong way. You just pick up the phone, you call the coordinator, they take care of it. It should never be a burden on the employer. If it's not a benefit for you, then it's not a good internship, or it's not a good fit with the student and your work environment. We want to stay ahead of the competition, obviously. So, as I've said, one way to do that is to engage in high school internships. Everybody knows about the college internships, but sometimes that's just a little bit too late. And especially if you want to retain your local talent here, a lot of students, they're going to go away to college, or they might go to college here, and if they're already not connected with a business, an organization in their career field, they're going to get snagged up by those people, especially in the Chicago area, when they come down to recruit the students at the career fairs. But if they're already connected and engaged with a local business and they have an opportunity for a career, probably they've worked on vacations or in the summer, they've stayed connected with the mentor, they won't be a beginning employee by the time they graduate college because they've had all this other experience. They're more likely to stay here. So, we want to build your talent pipeline because internships are just good business. So this is how we're going to get started. The very first thing is the president or the CEO. It's the person that is the decision maker. at your company or organization. They first approve that an internship program can be at your business. And then they deliver the message to the organization saying, I think it's a good opportunity for us to have an internship program. And so I'm going to get you connected up with the right people so we can explore that. The president and CEO, that's primarily all they do. They, put their stamp of approval on it and deliver the message to their organization. Then it goes to the human resources or whatever person or department handles those kind of things. They collaborate with the internship coordinator. They get their documents set up and they set up the interviews and help decide who is going to get an internship spot. Then it goes to the department manager. The department manager would identify the projects for the intern, and they would assist with the supervisor or mentor, whatever you decide to call them, either one. Then the supervisor or mentor, they're the ones in charge of the daily management of the intern. That means that when the intern comes, they check in with that person, and they get busy. Because it's a project-based internship setup, once the project is set up, the mentor kind of gives a little bit of direction, but the student is there and can ask questions and problem solve on their own with a little bit of guidance for the mentor. It's not like the mentor is just like right there with them the whole time. They're just kind of there to assist as needed. They also complete the intern evaluation reports and sign the intern hour reports. And then, of course, if they have problems, they pick up that phone to the coordinator and say, I've got issues here. The coordinator handles it. So, like I said, it's easier than you think. The school internship coordinator helps you create the opportunities that will meet your specific needs and help you figure out the projects and set the projects up. So that leads us to the internship provider guide. So I want to go over a few things that are in there. The very first page gives you a little welcome, etc. Take this with you. Please email me if you have any questions, and I will hang around if you have any specific questions, but I don't want to hold you over. Great. Thank you so much, Charlie. Thanks for everyone.